we're not going to change the physics of the 20% of people earning CS degrees being women, but we can bring people who can be incredible leaders who don't have that background. And you look at some of the most successful chief product officers, and a lot of them don't have CS degrees, men and women. And so, the barriers are not things that no one intended to say we're pushing all the women out of this industry. But it is important that we think about how we advance and how we think about what it takes to actually build the best products, which is diverse points of view. And if we're shutting out a certain group of people, we're actually not going to have the products that we want.
Hi everyone, we are at Tiecon 2023 and joining us is Ancestry.com CEO Deborah Liu. Welcome ma'am to Yo India TV with me, Jasleen. It's really a pleasure to see you here. How's your feel at Tiecon?
It's been great. Thank you for inviting me.
And I heard your wonderful speech about Ancestry.com. So tell us a little more about what's the latest and the greatest that we can find at Ancestry. Any new features added?
We've been really excited about a bunch of our new launches. We've launched a number of things in DNA, as well as actually a lot of new exciting things. We've added new collections from 1950, as well as our new Storymaker Studio.
And does it encompass all the countries, or it is more focused to US of A?
Well, so right now, most of our site is actually in English, but we hope to expand that over the next several years.
Well, what's interesting is it's actually a 40-year-old company that started as a book publishing company, and then it used to have CDs. Back in the day, discs and CDs.
I remember those.
Yes, and for those of you young people, there's a disc that came in the mail that uses coasters. And then, after that, it really kind of evolved. It was one of the first online subscription products. And, really it was to help digitize a lot of the content. A lot of the money went to digitizing content all over the world where you couldn't necessarily access it. And it brought a lot of historical records from books and archives into the modern age and now into the cloud, and it's actually helping us to be able to tell their family story.
So, Ancestry.com has been really beneficial for one and all. How would the next generation who has lived in this digital world, they have a lot of pictures in their smartphones already, even parents have a lot of memories captured in their cell phones now versus what they had earlier, back in the time when there was no internet, when there were no smartphones or cameras available. So for future generations, how would Ancestry.com be more meaningful?
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's not about having, everybody has 10,000 photos, but it's really about the memories you want to keep, the stories you want to tell, the ones you want to, it's for your grandmother's birthday, collecting your memories around her. And so much of what we're trying to do with Storymaker Studio and some of the things we've launched is really driving family-oriented storytelling to the next generation.
Family history research is often a solo endeavor, but we have learned over the years that discoveries and shared photos have the power to connect across the generations and bring family and people together like nothing else. We're developing new experiences where more people can collaborate and connect over their shared family history by investing in our mobile capabilities, interactive message center, and collaborative tree building workspaces.
In the free Ancestry mobile app, there's a media gallery in your family tree. Simply click the green plus sign to scan photos. Lay out several pictures from that shoebox, a page from your mom's scrapbook, then press and hold the shutter. Powered by PhotoMine, this new technology scans those pictures, crops them into individual images, de-skews them, sharpens them up, and uploads them to your media gallery. Simply tag who's in the picture to link the images to those people in your family tree. Oh, and don't forget to talk to your Aunt Lynn and get the story behind the picture to add to the description.
So you've also been leading the marketplace at Facebook. I think you were one of the pioneers who introduced this. So tell us a little more about what got you thinking into having a Facebook marketplace, and obviously it's so successful. So hats off to you for bringing it on.
You know, from the day I interviewed at Facebook in 2009, I pitched Sheryl Sandberg on Marketplace, and she was kind of skeptical. And I worked on different things for 5 years, which, became successful products. But I always, in my heart, knew that there was a place for community commerce. And part of it was that I was a mom. I was one of the very few moms at the company, worked in product. And I could just see these mom communities trading and buying and selling from each other because, kids outgrow things. And I knew that we could do that for the world. And so much of that was driven by who I was, actually being someone who different background, diverse experiences, and bringing that to the table. And now today, Marketplace is over 1 billion people using it every month.
In just a matter of years, Facebook Marketplace has completely dominated the used exchange scene, becoming the place to go whether you're into vintage Atari games or obscure metalhead merch. Marketplace is the only reason why many people are still using Facebook, and there is a very good reason. There is something comforting about seeing a full name and profile picture, and knowing that the stranger that you're handing your address to has been on Facebook for however many years without being permanent.
So as a product owner, as a product executive, you have been leading the PayPal and the eBay integration change, which was, I think, a very landmark change in the history of these companies. I'm myself a big user of PayPal, and I have leveraged on this integration as well. Tell us a little bit about the memories you have from this beautiful merger and the key challenges that you faced and overcome as a product manager.
Well, I think one of the most amazing things about eBay and PayPal were it was a marriage of exactly the two best products at the right time. Because the challenge for eBay for a long time was trust, right? So they had a trust and kind of like feedback system. But then the next big thing was you're mailing money through the mail and checks and money orders. And so payments just opened up, instant payments and being able to pay somebody and actually complete a transaction. And that increased trust on the platform as well. And so just being there at a time when those two things were so necessary was wonderful.
So I see a lot of vendors are skeptical about the commission that PayPal has, and there is a cutoff on each of the products versus while people use other platforms like Venmo and Zelle. How do you compare these?
Well, I haven't worked at PayPal in a long time, but I think it provided so much value to the sellers at the time, and it really led the way. I mean, Venmo is owned by PayPal, so you can always use Venmo as well.
The PayPal system was both simplistic and brilliant. Instead of needing PDAs, users could send money with nothing more than their email and credit card. The best part was that users could transfer money to anyone, even if they didn't have an account. As long as you knew their email, they would get their money. Just 3 months after its release, PayPal had 12,000 active users. What really kickstarted PayPal's popularity, however, was its integration with eBay. Back then, eBay was emerging as the premier online marketplace, but there was a notable handicap to its usability. The only way you could pay for things was through checks and money orders. That was very inconvenient, and so when PayPal got released, eBay auctions became one of its primary uses.
A lot of project managers are pivoting to product. This is a new trend these days, and especially women. So how would you encourage people to be in product versus focusing more on the timelines and risks?
Well, look, it is very important that we have amazing technical program managers, project managers. What I love about product, though, is it's very creative. You're working on product strategy one day, you're working on design the next day, and you're just so much more well-rounded, especially if someday you want to found a company, you want to be in senior leadership, having that ability to drive the strategy. And some PMs even own their own P&Ls. It's just an opportunity to really grow and be, even more than and contribute in different ways to the company.
What is one product that every day that you're proud of?
I actually still use Facebook every single day, and I'm very excited to be a part of that. We build payments into Messenger, so I love Facebook Messenger, which I enjoy with the kids, and WhatsApp, which we supported for a long time, and some of the work that I did. I use WhatsApp with so many of my friends and family too.
If you had a magic wand, what would you change about Ancestry.com?
I want the product. The one thing I talked about is the theme we've had since I've been there is me to we. How do we actually, look at family history not from a singular lens where we're doing it for ourselves, but we're actually doing it for our families, we're doing it for our community. So that's a lot of work we do. And the second theme has been Ancestry for all. How do we make this product much more accessible to people who might be like me or people in this audience who we don't have necessarily records from India or China, from Asian countries, but we still love our families. We still want to tell our family stories. We want to take that shoebox of pictures. I have my grandmother's photo album and I've been terrified to send it away to scan because it might get lost, but I want to figure out how to bring that online and share it with my family. And those are the kinds of things where you want to talk about what she was like when she was 30, not, but I've been holding on to that photo album because it's literally falling apart because it's, 70 years old at this point. And so I think the part, I want to make Ancestry a place where everyone can talk about their families, connect with their families. And so that's the dream I have, and that's what we're working on today.
Like to all the women who are in technology and who aspire to be someone like Deborah Liu yourself, you're coming from a diverse background, not a hardcore CS background, and being so successful, leading the company to greater heights. What's your message to everyone?
I think the biggest thing is, dream big. I think that, I never really thought I could be here, but it's been such a great opportunity. And a lot of that was because I had amazing mentors and sponsors, people who helped me along the way. So ask for help, get help, and I think you'll go way further than you think you can do alone.
I founded Women in Product actually in 2016. And the reason was because I actually started out in tech. So, I told you I stumbled into product. I had no idea what a product manager did. I was interviewing for the job. I get the job. I actually had to tell the VP I worked for, what is this job when I got there? And she graciously told me, hey, look, all those ideas you had in the interview, you're supposed to build them. I'm like, well, how do you do that? She's like, here's a spec. You have to write a spec.
Any final message to your India TV viewers who are watching you worldwide?
I think that, we just love our family so much. So how do we actually bring them together and actually, tell the story so that we don't lose them? So often when the eldest person in our family passes away, we lose all of the stories of their lives and experiences. And everybody has an incredible story to tell.
Thank you again for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed this eye-opening conversation with Deb Liu. Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.